t-shirt now red, my bloody nose sleeping. You're on your tippy toes creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal. Bruises on both my knees for you. Don't say thank you. Oh please, I do what I want when I'm wanting to. My soul so cynical. So you're a tough guy, like you really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so puff guy. I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type. I'm the bad guy. Duh. I'm the bad guy. I like it when you take control, even if you know that you don't own me. I'll let you play the role, I'll be your animal. My mommy likes to sing along with me, but she won't sing this song if she reads all the lyrics. She'll pity the men I know. So you're a tough guy, like you really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so puff guy. I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type. I'm the bad guy. Duh. I'm the bad guy. Duh. I'm only good at being bad.
Hey guys, let's do the show. Oh, wait a second.
I like when you get mad. I guess I'm pretty glad that you're alone. You said she's scared of me? I mean, I don't see what she sees, but maybe it's 'cause I'm wearing your cologne.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Guys, let's start this effing show. We want to talk watches, everybody. Yesterday, we kind of got derailed a little bit there, but it was fun nonetheless. That's why I kind of today's stream has the same title as yesterday's, and then yesterday's stream I retitled it as something else, as my favorite Ming release so far. Man, I gotta love the Ming watches, the Mings. There's just nothing like a good Ming watch. I know people hate on them. They're not too keen on it, but I love the design. It's Solita movements, so any watchmaker can fix it up if needs any fixing down the road, and they look fantastic. JMB, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. Elegance is not about being noticed; it's about being remembered. Giorgio Armani, thank you so much for that quote. JMB, very powerful. Yes, there's a lot of people that that kind of try to be super flashy to be noticed, but are they remembered in the good light? I don't think so. I was just recently talking to John, and he took a picture of this dude at the airport who was wearing two bust down Rolexes, was wearing two Cuban chains with diamonds and stuff. So he's definitely noticed, but remembered, um, not in the positive light, at least. It's you wanna balance it out. Sometimes if you wanna make a statement, sometimes discretion is your best way. But anyways, thank you so much, JB. Thank you also for everybody who upvoted early. Web One, Marco, Matt, Goldfinger, The Watch Apprentice. There's a new person in the chat. Uh-huh. I see. I see. Okay. Okay. Dave F451, Tuomo, Kaloy, Dingo, Dingo in the house. Hey, careful with that engine. Don't start it up accidentally. He's fixing an engine. Something happened to the Beamer. It needs an emergency service. So Dingo took it all apart like a Lego set. He's took it all completely apart. He's telling me, "Don't become a mechanic, Timmy." Not that I have any chance of becoming a mechanic. That would have been a much more lucrative um, career path to go down. The watch talk stuff, not so much. Steer Pike, a big upvote for Luminaries. Shout out to the Luminaries. Always love the Luminaries. Is Brandon Boswell a luminary? Some people seem to think so. He's definitely a new, fresh blood, a breath of fresh air in the watch community. We've got, okay, there's Dave shouting out everybody. Good to see you. Good to see the watch community. We got Dr. LM says he likes this song, but give us the OG music. OG, I'll give you a hit. Okay, hold on a second. Give me a second. I'll give you a hit. How about that? Oh, like the good old days. Okay, okay. Not too much. Not too much. I don't want you to get overdosed on the good memories. We've got also Dr. Bob's Nightmare. I'm going to the store. Are we using a triple sec tomorrow? Triple sec, but I think the recommendation was is Cointreau. Cointreau is what the recipe is calling for. We're going to be making a breakfast martini. Martini. Let me see. Let me just pull up a recipe here real quick. 3-minute recipe for a breakfast martini. It's going to use orange marmalade. By the way, the roommate surprised me today with some marmalade. Look at that. She went to the city for to do some shopping. She bought some like plants and she got triple fruit marmalade. So obviously it's not an orange marmalade, but it's homemade, I think. I think. Maybe not. So you need the marmalade. You need Heyman's or whatever London dry gin. You just need some gin, Cointreau or triple sec. I've got the triple sec, so I think I should be okay. And lemon juice, and then a piece of toast, preferably if you can get it for the to garnish the glass with, and that's gonna be what's up. Okay, so that's gonna be pretty cool right there. Get ready, Dr. Bob's. We've got Malthred. Happy Easter weekend. Where's my bunny ears? Happy Easter, everybody. I'm just trying to talk watches over here. Why it's gotta be so hard? You know, it's hard, guys. It's hard. Nearly impossible, to be honest. There we go. We got the infamous bunny ears. Happy Easter. Happy Easter to the watch community. Guys, let me know what watch should the bunny wear tonight. I'm wearing, obviously, the Explorer 2. I have it right here. Explorer 2, baby. Bada bing, bada boom. Gotta love the Explorer. Maybe I should wear the ears behind the head like this. And I think I have to sit lower for this one. I'm using the ears. I think I'll sit low like that. There we go. That should work. Happy Easter. Good. Okay, that's tricky. My microphone might fall off soon. All right. Happy Easter, guys. James the Advisor says, let's have a great roommate segment today. I don't know about that. I don't know. I was thinking maybe we should have less roommate. It's been too much roommate lately. Time flies. Happy Easter. The green table. And yep. All good, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Sammy, the bunny. Where are your ears, Sammy? You always been the bunny. How come you're now Sammy? I'm Bunny and you're just Sammy. Timbo, Datejust 41 fluted. Oyster fluted. What is the 9 oyster? What does that mean? Ninester white. Let me pull it up. 41 Datejust fluted oyster. White dial, right? White dial. It's a pretty good watch. Let me bring it on the screen for everyone to see. Here we go. Check it out. There it is. It's a pretty nice watch. It's a Rolex. It's a little bit too close, to be honest, to the new Land Dweller. If you can hold off and maybe ask your authorized dealer to sell you the Land Dweller, I think that would be a better idea. Because look, no, but if you're getting going gray and you're getting a significant discount for this watch, no issues there. Just a classy piece, no complaints. I'm wearing a white dial Explorer 2 right now. Nothing like a Rolex. I'm actually going to finish up the article that John has written about Rolex and what makes it so special. And then we're going to talk about the new Land Dweller movement, because there's an interesting article there, and I thought, oh, you know what? Let's take a look at all these things together. There you can see the bracelet. Now, the cool thing about the Datejust that's better, or that's subjective whether it's better or not, but it's different, is that on the Datejust you get the Rolex buckle, whereas on the Land Dweller you're not gonna get the micro adjustment. You're gonna have that super bracelet, super Jubilee. Now it's going to look really cool, but you're not gonna have the ability to micro adjust it. So yeah, you have to choose your battles. Do you want to have a watch that's more aesthetically uh, more cohesive and kind of all parts work together? Because Land Dweller also has an integrated bracelet, whereas the Datejust, it's got it's not an integrated bracelet. It's got the end link there that you can technically you can put this watch on the leather strap, but who would do that? You have to be an absolute madman. Oh, sorry, Ronald. I totally forgot about the StreamYard link. There's the link in the chat. There you go. Let's see. Less roommate. Guys, everybody's been telling me less roommate. Well, actually, I've been thinking. Nobody was telling me less roommate. I've just been thinking, it's freaking hard. The whole thing is just very tough. Very tough. Land Dweller dial is a mess. Datejust all the way. Okay, let me pull up a picture and then you let me know what you think, because I thought in in person I thought the Datejust dial wasn't too bad. It was actually less flashy than the images made it look. The the Rolex website really makes you think that the dial pops, whereas it's a lot more subdued. Subdued. It's dude. Yeah, dude. It's more subdued. Okay, one second here. What is this? Oh, okay, here we go. Transfer over the files. One second. I have to change up the way the website works. Okay, here we go. So look at that. Here's the dial. The dial on the real thing. As you can see, um, the the honeycomb, the top parts of the honeycomb and the in between of the honeycomb, they're very similar color and texture. So it doesn't really pop as as you would think it does. And I'll even have a video to show you guys how how it kind of how it plays. See, there's no it doesn't play with the light. You would expect that the dial would have this color shift. Like usually Rolex has a sunburst color shift or the way that the bezel plays with the light, but no, the dial is matte, and yeah, and it creates this type of a honeycomb effect. I thought it was okay. I thought it would be much worse, but as you can see, it's not too bad. I think if you're gonna get retail a white dial Datejust, then might as well go for the Land Dweller. Fuck it, because it's a lot of money, and then you could have this thing. At least it's special in the way that because both watches are kind of flashy. They both have that fluted bezel. Um, but at least you can have like Mark One of the Land Dweller, and that's kind of a cool thing to own. But if you disagree, it's all cool, guys. If you don't like it, it's all cool. I'm just trying to put it out there. Scott Waxland says, so with everything else that sucked in my life this week, something good. Picked up a new Speedy white dial at the AD today. Holy shit. Wowzers. Dude, congratulations. White dial Speedy is the best Speedy, I think, on the market today. There's a lot of different Speedies, but none of them are as high quality as the white dial Speedy. Because yeah, you know, some people might say, "Oh, 321, Timmy, 321, the 321. Oh, it's so great." And yeah, the 321, the servicing is gonna be a bitch. All right, you're gonna have to pay like 2 to 3 thousand for the service, and it's gonna go away for months. I've heard people sending their 321, and it's taking between 6 and 12 months to get it back. Whereas with the 3861 movement, you get a movement that's just as reliable. It's not a column wheel, but you get a Daytona for the column wheel. But it's super reliable. They've made the crown slightly bigger on the white one, so it's easier to wind, and the the dial, whatever the materials they used to make the dial out of, it's really premium. And then the hands and the hour markers, they're blacked out because they either and they're not just blacked out by painting them, they heat treated them. So it's a really nice, rich, deep black color of metal. It's cool stuff. and I think it's going to age really well. Red Shovel, unfortunately, he had one, and then he sold it because there was a part trade towards the solid gold dancer. He had, you can't keep everything. You have to choose your battles. Scott, let us know what other watches you have in your collection. Give us the makeup. The makeup. Um, let's see. Before, oh, while we're at it, check this out. Now Omega right now is spruiking the Speedy, um, the Silver Snoopy Award, the old one, mind you, not a new one. I was told on the 17th, Timmy 17th, they're gonna release Mark IV, but they didn't, and now they're putting in all this effort. Look at this, they got stories advertising this watch that they're no longer selling. From my understanding, they stopped selling the Silver Snoopy Award couple of like last year, I think, months ago. They stopped the. Well, they're still making them because they've got like a wait list, but they're not taking any more orders. And once they fulfill all the current orders, they're no longer going to sell them. So it's kind of silly for them to be pushing this one. Oh, wait a second. See more at omegawatches.com. What happens here? Precision. Yes. Oh, yeah. I love that. Look at the movement. It's actually really well finished movement. Got to give props to Omega where it's due. Very nice stuff. Beautiful finish. Yeah. Really cool stuff. Okay, but this is nothing to do with the Snoopy. New Snoopy? No. Unfortunate. Let's see. Moonwatch. It's not here. Is it? Is it a heritage model? Oh yeah, it is a heritage model. But oh no, wait a second. Contact Boutique. No, are they selling them again? Uh oh. Dude, if they discontinued it and then brought it back because they realized that they can sell another like 10,000 pieces, that's messed up. And I think that's what happened. The Contact Boutique. I've done an episode on this in the past where there was something else here. It wasn't available for sale. I'm gonna try to test this theory. I'll call the boutique tomorrow. I'll see what they'll tell me because some people in the watch community have been offered the Silver Snoopy and they actually said no. They already had one. It so happened. Um, where's the dial? Steer Pike says, Tim, did David get back to you on the gray market drama he spoke about on the last stream? No, not yet. Not yet, but we're gonna find out soon. I probably should send him a message. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Let me shoot him a message. I don't want to bother him today. Look, I'll just make a note and I'll shoot him a message tomorrow. Okay. Cool. Okay. Um, David. Uh-huh. Okay. Thank you for the reminder. I was busy today with other things. I'm making Napa reservations. It's hard, guys. It is freaking impossible. Let's see here. LOL. My Seamaster Professional is my daily. That's a nice watch. Go to the gym, working around the house. Tough watch and looks good doing it. especially if you have it on the rubber strap. I highly recommend. If you don't have it on the rubber strap, get yourself a rubber strap and whack it on there, and then let me know what you think, because I'm a huge, huge, huge fan of the rubber strap. Man, this one looks pretty cool. Is this the latest edition? Jeez. Okay. Okay, here's this the regular one right there with a date. Yeah, and the pin buckle, perfection. Where's Ronald? I don't know. Ronald is working on a on AI project there. Dr. LM Tim, which pieces of yours are you selling this year? I think I heard you say we're consolidating. I've been consolidating for years, but I am selling the Sermit, the Air King. Um, if you're interested, the Sermit, the Air King. Here. Like, I'm not mega in the rush to sell these. Like, it's not like I've got till the end of the year. You know what I mean? I've got till the end of the year to sell this stuff, but then by January, I'm gonna have to make some tough life choices. It's hard, guys. It is hard. So, oh, what the heck? One second. There we go. So these two must go. If you're interested, they're both available. We could use my friend's platform to facilitate the trade. There you go. A sale or trade. Or I might sell them to the European watch company um, for a solid gold dancer. That was also an option. But let's see, what do they got? Just quickly here to check European watch company. I love European watch company. Great website to browse for wristwatches. They have like every couple of minutes they update the website with a bunch of new listings, and there's not a single watch that I wouldn't want. What am I looking for next? I think solid gold dancer, guys. It's really here. Check this out. This is Ronald made this earlier today. You're not gonna believe it. Check it out. He made a piece of art. Hold on. Look at this. Boom. Tim Wright, the quest for the gold dancer. Ah, that's hilarious. The quest for the golden dancer. Yeah. I want to get a golden dancer. I think it's just life is so much more fun with a gold dancer on the wrist. A buddy of mine has got this Daytona, right? Oh no, this is the new one. Sorry, he's got the previous model, which I actually prefer because the new one has these brown subdials, and I don't know. I think that takes away from the dial when the previous model is just fully clean, ice blue. Because this one looks like it might have regular hour markers. I don't know why they did it like this. This Rolex. Sometimes they just make no sense. But anyways, he's got the platinum, and that hits hard. Oshin tried it on, and he had a bluesy. Oshin came with a pre ceramic bluesy to the dinner, and he tried on the platinum one. He was like, "Ooh, whoa!" He wasn't ready for the heft. So yeah. Oh, look at this. They got a blank pawn, 50 fathoms. Whoa. Inca Inca block early. LIP. What in the world is this? Man, some of these blank pawns, they're super collectible. But in the hand, if you hold this watch, it's kind of it's not that special. You have to know the history. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm qualified. Look at this. In case of opening, the water tightness of this watch must be rechecked. An official blank pond 50 fathoms patents pending. And they made this watch before they had the full rights to the patent. Pretty cool. Pretty cool piece. Blank pond. I think they invented that um, sandwich seal. Pretty cool shit. What else we've got here? JLCs. There's a Patek Philippe with what do they call this dial? Hmm, slipped my mind. Um, sector dial. Sorry. Okay, it's a sector dial. That's a good looking sector dial. Kind of looks like the Omega CK. Blah blah blah. What else? What else we've got here? Quality controlled Lange one. Cool stuff. That's cool. There's a new uh rose gold Daytona on the Oyster Flex. 15510 white dial. Wow, 41,500. These are holding their value. And this one doesn't have the 50th anniversary. Billy says Air King is only retail in the sermon. In the sermon is above retail. What does that mean? And the sermon is above retail. Well, dude, the crazy thing is, for example, like European Watch Company, right? Here's their sermon, right? They got sermon right here. 17,000. That's a lot of money, right? Let's see. Do they have an Air King? Command F. Air. No, they don't have an Air King. Okay. Let's go to 1916 company. Let's see. Pre-owned. Oh no, they have to go certified. Oh shit. I think I would have to go to Rolex certified. Oh. Oh, hey, Ronald.
Hey, what's
Hey,
going on?
it has been a long time no see, and I've been away on that crazy multi multi-week adventure.
Multi-week adventure is right. That probably cost a Rolex Submariner that adventure.
Dude, it cost me an absolute freaking fortune. I lost my ass on that trip. I'm not doing this stuff anymore, you know? Like who the heck
Losing
do
your ass
I
or
think
not
I
taking any more
am? Some
trips.
baller? Sorry?
Losing your ass or taking any more trips. Which one is it? Or is it both?
Yeah, no more of this kind of trips. I lost my ass, dude. I'm fucking delusional. I think who did I think I was? Some fucking baller, right?
Shot collar.
I need to know my place, to be honest. It's ridiculous. Fucking
It looks
ridiculous, man.
fun. I was thinking, how many days is he doing this for?
Too many. Too many days. It was yeah, it was dude, it's just
I'm balling
disaster.
out in Pennsylvania. That's where I can ball out. When
Yeah.
beer is $4 a pint on happy hour for good beer, that's that's how I can ball
That's
out.
all you need, to be honest. To be honest, you don't need that much to have great time. You don't need to go to Geneva. You don't need to go to Paris or London to have great time. You can have great time in your backyard. I can have great time outside of my apartment on the bench, just sitting and watching the squirrels. Whoa, it's the price of the Air King is in the fucking toilet.
Wow, that's gone down.
Yeah, private seller from what is Saudi Arabia. Okay, let's see something in United States because these UK and this stuff doesn't count.
Don't we
Here
have?
we go.
Wasn't there Air King Ben back in the day?
Yep, he's going to Dubai.
I
He's
always wondered about going to Dubai, but they have crazy laws of in case something obscure happens to you, you don't want to break the law there by accident. That place gives me the chills.
Well, dude, if you don't break any laws, it's a great place. Or if you have shit ton of money, it's a great place to
Or you
party.
have a shit ton of money. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I've I and like the thing is, last time I went for the cool thing about going there for a watch event is there's a lot of stuff that's happening at the watch event. Oh, hold on a second. We got celebrities. A very private gentleman. Welcome to the stream.
Welcome, welcome.
Long time no see, and sir. Here, cheers. Okay, I'll just give you time to set up. Yeah, Dubai is great. If you want to come for Dubai Watch Week, Ronald, I just bought the tickets. It cost me like $900 for the flight, and the hotel room is $500.
It's
I
not
haven't.
bad.
Yeah, exact for a week.
For a week.
Yeah,
It's not
and
bad,
then you can
actually.
eat all the free food at the watch event, and you're that's all your expenses.
Catching
Yeah,
on.
we're sharing an Airbnb. That's why.
Okay, that's what you're doing. How many
Yeah.
people are you going with?
It's gonna be 8 people sharing Airbnb. Sausage fest. And I'm sharing a bed with Daniel Katz.
Ooh.
No. There's a separate bed. The bunk bed. I'm joking. The bunk bed. Yeah. Yeah. Bunk bed. Bunk bed. But
Well, Canadians are attractive, Tim. If that's your thing, no judgment on that.
hey, I don't judge people. I've shared a bed with Daniel Katz actually. We had what's it called, a king size bed, and then we just put like a pillow inside, and it's all good.
That works.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Daniel Katz is back in Toronto, I guess, huh?
Yes. Back, baby. Back. Billy says the new bezel is 2,500 more than the older bezel. Nobody wants the old bezel. The green color is a different green. No, I disagree. I think the old bezel is better because it's more collectible in a way. It's only so many of those old bezels on the Sermon. He's talking about the Sermon. You know what I mean?
Oh, go to the Sermon for a second.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Hey, we also got Sean. Hey, Sean, welcome to the stream.
Welcome,
gentlemen.
Good to see
How are you? Who do we have on? Who do we have on?
We got the private gentleman, and we got Ronald.
Ronald, private gentleman. How are you? Hey, listen, guys. If you don't mind, I just jumped on real quick. I wanted to share with you guys this place that opened up recently in West Hollywood. It's a French place called Amour, and it's a really cool place. If you're in LA, or if you're gonna visit LA, this is a cool place. My wife and I just had a late lunch brunch kind of a thing here, and I asked them if I can show them around. And it's a French place. It's ran by French people, so it's really cool. Are you guys open to that?
Yeah, French food is the best food next to Japan.
Oh, it's fantastic. Are you okay with that, Timmy?
Yeah, sure.
It will only take a few minutes. It's about 3:45 here, so it's like quiet time of the day. It was a little bit busier today, but this is the outside.
Wow, it looks like the Great Gatsby.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's
So here we go.
Oh
And it
my
gets
God.
busy at nighttime, so I'm going to show you guys. I asked them if it's okay to show them. It's like somebody's backyard, like kind of an atmosphere. It's really cool. Cool music.
Oh, that feels
Oh,
French.
wow.
The floor tile, especially.
And the food is pretty
More.
The mural
Pretty
is
far too.
definitely
Right. So
Oh, beautiful bar.
this is Quentin.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Great guy.
Hello,
And this is Sandra. Sandra is the general manager
Hello,
from
Sandra.
Paris. I'll do
We
a
were
quick
just in
tour so
Paris.
they know.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we got about 90 people. He just started. We got about 80 to 90 people later on. There's going to be more, and it's going to be on YouTube. So
That's so
this
cool.
is a part of our community. I told you I just came back, and there were 6 of us from this community. We went to Geneva for Watches and Wonders. They went to Paris. They went to London. So
These
these are
guys
all
went
watch crazy
all out.
people.
Amazing.
I watched
And come
your
and see Sandra. This
Yeah.
is Sandra.
lovely Sandra. I love it.
Yeah, they say hi to you. So this is a really cool
Beautiful
spot,
place. I
and
love the
at night
ambiance.
is beautiful. Yeah. So it's
Checkered floor.
yeah.
That is so cool.
And here's my
Oh,
baby here.
Shima.
The guys are saying hello to you, Shima.
Hey, Shima.
Hey,
He's having a glass of Pinot Grigio.
No, actually, we finished. Shima had a mimosa. I had a Hugo Spritz. We shared a salad and a. Let me turn this around. And then we shared a croque monsieur and salad.
what? Your wife is styling just like you.
We're styling.
Thank you. One
Oh,
of the
yeah.
gentlemen says
I-
you're styling. You have style. One of the
Oh,
gentlemen.
thank you.
She says thank you.
I'm the one who bought the
I'm
R&D
gonna.
lamp. So there you go.
Don't put me on the spot.
So here, Shima, since they complimented you, she's busy typing away. Anyways,
Yeah.
guys, I just wanted to share this with you and promote the place a little bit. So if you guys are here in LA, come on, check it out. It's a nice place, great food, and great
In the
ambience.
future, somehow I'm gonna be rolling with you more. I just feel it. You know, I'm working on a couple of things right now. This is an amazing tour of the restaurant. Like we got a cool, intimate tour. So I'm looking forward to you. You keep sending me stuff like this to inspire me. You know.
There you go. I hope. Thank you for taking it as such. So sorry
yeah,
about that.
yeah. And
I'm having a hard time positioning the phone. But anyways, guys, have fun. I'll catch up with you guys later, and then definitely tomorrow. Timmy, are we gonna do the 4 unboxings tomorrow? That's set.
On tomorrow. I even got a watch specifically for tomorrow's unboxing. So I'll unbox something with you guys together.
Oh, hey, thank you, Chris. Great. Thank you for the compliment, man. I appreciate you, brother.
that's
And
great.
hopefully, Chris gonna jump on with us as well.
Mm.
And
Chris, if you have time. Time Flies says beautiful glamour.
and then
And
rocking the classic.
We're on today.
oh,
Okay.
very nice.
Yeah.
He's got the Patek. That's
So
beautiful.
so both wrist check and Red and Manny gonna be on tomorrow too.
I'll send them the message. It would be cool to have them because it would be cool to share some more stories from our trip.
Yep. All right,
Let me write
guys.
it down.
Sorry for
Okay.
the jumping on and but I want to share it with you.
No, it's so
All right.
cool. I would
Take
really
care.
appreciate.
Cheers.
Can you send me a text message of the name of the place?
Okay.
I'll bring it up on the maps and I'll put the link in the chat.
Here,
Okay.
let me see if I can show it to you without doxing myself. Where's the name of it? Oh, here
You
it
can
is.
just text me.
Here. Hold on a second. Oh, here it is. Good. Shima has the business card. Sure, you got over there. It's called Amor,
More. Okay.
and then
More.
this is the manager's name and the information. Okay, it's called Amor.
Okay. I
It's on.
found it.
It's 8715 Beverly Boulevard in
Oh.
West
Oh, it's
Hollywood.
not too
Okay?
far from the Beverly Hills. Perfect.
No, it's right
Okay.
next to Beverly Hills. All right,
Thank
guys.
you, Sean.
Take care, guys. Bye.
All right.
Guys, more love.
You gotta
More
go
love.
there too. We gotta check
Oh,
that place out one
dude,
day.
it's right for a drink. You can have a nice cocktail there, enjoy, and just sit back like what Sean was doing there. Just chill out, relax, scroll a little bit on YouTube, maybe enjoy a book or something, or just conversation. Hey, private
Or
gentleman.
Tim,
Private Gentleman's rebooting. Private Gentleman,
he is rebooting. It's not.
come
He's
back.
gone.
He was setting up his audio. It was a little bit tricky, I think. I dropped the link again so that if he's all ready, we can talk about some. Oh, the food looks amazing. It's French.
Yeah.
French food is always the best. Some Tudor stuff. I would love to get his take on the new Tudor releases. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about Rolex movements. You want to talk about Rolex movements, Ronald?
How about
Got it.
your quest for the gold dancer?
Yes, the quest for the golden dancer.
Put up the inspirational graphic.
Oh yeah, I was showing it just a little bit earlier. Check it out. Look at that, guys.
Guys, what do you think?
The game.
The game.
The game.
I'm using generative AI effectively now. This is why you might not have seen me as much. So I've been working on some research for the chat room and just in general. And I thought, okay, so I was able to. I'm going to be able to make you guys into video game sprites based on what you look like and based on your speech. So watch out for that. This might be a fun exercise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That could be fun. Also, if you need any help coming up with some ideas, I could definitely write some stuff out for you.
Yeah.
Guys, what do you think, guys? A video game about collecting watches and battling your enemies.
Yeah, you got to battle the haters, and then you get a good watch, and it allows you to go to another area in the game to get the better watch, and to get the better watch until you
and then fight bigger and badder haters.
Yeah, bigger and badder haters. You got to battle.
There's hater bosses, right? There's hater bosses. Then you have to try, and then you have to collect them all. Collect all the watches as well, and you have to manage your resources. You have to get base elements, and then you have to combine. You have to consolidate your collection. You go to European watch company. You trade in your 3 Steel Sports Rolexes for 1 Golden Dancer, and then you continue your conquest. In the wristwatch
you know those portals like they were in Zelda? What about a portal to the Rolex store?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Private Gentleman, you're back.
Yeah, I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
Private Gentleman.
Yeah.
Hello. How are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, hi. I hit the wrong button. Sorry.
So cool. It's no big deal. You're back. Your audio is good now. Can you hear us?
Oh yeah. Me too. Yeah. Hello.
Fantastic. Yeah. What's going on? Where have you been? What's been good with you? Ronald here has a brilliant idea of creating a video game based on the watch collecting hobby and the battle against the haters.
Yeah, Tim, right in the quest for the gold dancer.
Okay. Interesting.
It's funny. It's funny. I think if it was done well.
Sprites. I had 4 generated sprites plus when you open up the treasure chest, and you're like in awe.
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
Let's bring those up. I'm gonna be generating a lot more of these guys.
Send it to me. Send them to me. I'll pull them up.
Okay, I can put them in the channel here. Can I cut and paste images? Hold on.
You could do that. JBB $5 super chat. Someday we'll see a Monty video. What's a Monty video? Is this I'm not sure. I don't get these jokes. Thank you, JBB, for the super chat, though. Private Gentleman, what do you think? What is that? What is a Monty video?
Pass. Never heard of one.
I never heard of one either.
No.
You know what I heard of?
A Monty video.
Rolex.
There's Monte Casino, Monte Carlo, but never heard of a Monty video. So. Is that if that's a London accent, then he's probably talking the full Monty, which is an acronym of Monty Berman, the suits in Savile Row. But I haven't got a clue. No.
A Monty. Monty is a Spanish game of chance played with 45 cards. Interesting.
Right.
A game traditionally associated with con man. Consignment, in which a dealer shows the player 3 cards, then moves them around face down. The player being obliged to pick a specific card from among the 3. Interesting. I know the game. It's rigged because there's a special move that the guy that manipulates the cards, he performs in order to move the cards in a very kind of a shady way that most people don't realize. It's a tricky game because there's stuff like the second deal, Private Jam. You know about the second deal?
No.
Okay, a second deal is it's a card move where the dealer utilizes card manipulation in order to get the card of his desire. For example, like an ace of spades, he gets this card to the top using certain manipulation, and then he uses a second deal, which works like this. So traditionally, when you deal, you pull the top card and you give it to the player. But by manipulating the card here, you can then use a second deal where you push the top card off to the side, and then you can pull out a card underneath it. So, for example, if I want to deal the ace of spades to you, what I could do is I could second deal a card to Ronald. He gets the 7 of hearts, and then to you, I give the ace of spades. Understand? So it's a move, and now what happens? It's such a sneaky move. Most people don't know that it's being used. So these guys, when they move around the cards, they're utilizing these tricky moves in order to make it look like they're putting a card in a certain place, but in reality, they're putting a completely different card in that place.
Okay, that's why the card's always on top or the bottom or whatever.
Exactly. There's called a bottom deal. You can also deal from the bottom. Just like you could deal from the top, you can go here, and with your pinky, you can actually pull out the card from underneath. And if it's done quickly, certain dealers can pull out cards from the bottom.
This is why you can't get your back row at retail. It's rigged, Tim. It's rigged.
It's rigged. The game is rigged, guys.
It's rigged.
Don't play the Monty. Do not play the Monty. The watch game is a game of Monty. Seriously. Mr. GMT, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Happy Easter to all the sexy punters. Cheers, Mr. GMT. Hey, nice bat girl there, Ronald.
Gotta keep this bat girl close to my heart, man. It's part of me now.
You know what they say. Keep your enemies close, but keep your Batgirl even closer.
I agree with that. That's wisdom right there, guys.
That's proper wisdom right there. That's true wisdom
right there.
What about Private Gentleman? What watch are you wearing tonight? Oh, a Rudy.
Ooh, another GMT.
Nice.
I'm biased towards the GMT, guys. I think it's the most useful complication.
In modern day, it definitely is. It's the best complication. People who travel, people who
don't need a diver. Nobody dives unless you count 30 seconds in the pool.
Yeah, nobody dies.
Yeah, they do dive. They muff.
Yeah, they're
still
muff.
100 meters water resistant. You know, if you go beyond 100 meters, you need to have special certifications and everything.
Over here, we muff dive.
What's a muff diving?
I thought this was a family-friendly show.
Oh, I get it.
There you
Nice.
go. You
Nice
get it
one,
now.
Private Gentleman. I get it. It took me a second. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow.
Yeah, I'm feeling
I
sluggish
get it.
today too for some reason.
Oh my God. The Watcher Princess. We have Mark the Shark. Now we have Tim the Shark. Let's see. Phil says I had to buy a few rollies before to make sure I get it. Oh, really? Full Monty. Okay. Well, Private Gentleman.
Yeah,
Tell us.
go ahead.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think about the current Rolex releases from the Watches and Wonders. Give us your take. You're being the Tudor expert.
Well, yeah, it was very good. It was about all they could do after the 3 chronograph releases: the
Mhm.
pink, the sky blue coloured, flamingo blue, and the boutique blue. So this was the route that they had to go down. A lot of us think they're holding something back for 18 months, when a number of the other movements will go to the master chronometer size of movements. But yeah, you had the this burgundy coloured dial and face Black Bay 58. Yeah, that was quite nice. I'm in
I
a
like
little bit.
these.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, these are nice.
Yeah, there's a slight discombobulation over the origin of that. I mean, it's claimed, and quite rightly so, that it was part of a watch, that a one-off watch that they made some years ago, a prototype. But I saw a Chinese Submariner made in this designate. I have a picture of it on file upstairs there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And they on by a company called Splendore Unique, and they were sold to people in China. And that photograph got about quite, in abundance. I can't help thinking that one of the boys in A&R Research and Development saw that, and it must have pushed them along to bring this one out.
Yeah.
From there, I mean, it's the way to go. So my money, is personal opinion, humble one at that, is they've done one, so expect to see a Submariner in these colours, in the ceramic finish, within 18 months, 2 years.
It's definitely a very beautiful watch. You know what? To me, it kind of reminds me of that cherry dial day. They're extraordinarily difficult to get, but the way the color on this dial
Mm.
pops, it's very, because the blue one, I gotta be honest, the blue one probably the worst Black Bay 58.
No, this is
Ever.
class. This is class. You wear
Yeah.
this, it stands out a mile. Then you got the Black Bay Pro in the silver, white sort of cosmic dial finish. And to go alongside its stablemate, obviously they made that different by putting metal ringed indices around those loom plots, which was the sort of my misgiving, my own personal
Oh.
misgiving on the other model. So on this one, they've actually put surrounds on the plots. If you can zoom in on that at all.
Oh, I see. That's a
Yeah,
great catch,
yeah,
Miss
yeah.
Private
And
Gentleman.
Anthony, if you want to call me
Yeah,
short.
Anthony.
The obviously the the bemoanment here is that they wanted a thinner unit on the MT in the 5652, but that's they're going to save that for a later date. I'm quite happy with the size of this watch. Great aircrew watch. Not, I know in my video I said pilots, but I mean, other people in the team like to wear those because they're compact. I'm glad to see that my favourite rivet bracelets have stayed, the faux rivets. Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely. all round. That's on many a hit list. Then you've got obviously the Flamingo Blue chronograph was touted alongside the rest of them. The chronograph, the black and the white chronograph with the Jubilee bracelets were announced with the availability of the 5-link. I shouldn't call them Jubilee. I know that's a bit of a sin. There was that. Also, they shaved a tiny little bit of size off the case. Now,
On the Black Bay Pro?
Yeah, no, the chronograph.
Oh, on the chronograph.
On the chronograph, yeah, on the black and the white chronograph. They've there is a tiny.
What, they revamped them slightly?
Slightly, yeah, to get them ready for the day when they come out of the big block. Now, my theory is what I'm gearing up my new videos for is that this chronograph plus the other 8 they did in this range will be known in history, from my own personal point of view, as the big block era, the modern day big block era of the chronograph. Also, the GMTs, the 3 GMTs they did in the thick set, the 14.6 millimeter, the cola, the pearlescent white, and the root beer diet versions, they'll be known as the big block as well, the thick ones. Because eventually they'll transition to the thinner master chronometer watch. For me, can't wait for them to do that, obviously, because the price will increase. And but yeah, it's alleged that they redesigned the case slightly, very, very subtly.
I see, because it does say new, like new. What's new about it, right?
Yeah.
Here at the top. So
There's
gotta be something.
Tim, I gotta bounce and meet someone at 6:30, so I'm just saying goodbye. Because I'm not on here that often, but I've got to meet someone. I'm gonna keep working on this AI because you need that good answer.
I wasn't going to stay on long either, so I don't want to leave him on his.
It's all cool. Okay, Ronald, we're gonna talk. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
They're all talking Italian in the chat, so
yeah.
All right.
Sono bene, grazie. Va bene.
Work on that video game. I think if we do a wristwatch collecting video, you want to make $1 million. That's your ticket, man.
I've got.
You want to escape the slums
with AI, and I mean, I won't go on about it tonight, but I'll have a little presentation about it and how it can help you get a better watch, perhaps. I mean, that's going to be the goal here,
right?
And
then we can link. We can have video game version. Because like obviously licensing, we can't say Rolex in the video game. We're gonna say Lolex
because these AI
we'll use Lolex
prevent you from using brands. They're like, oh, we recognize that brand. We can't do that.
Right.
But,
well. No, I'm thinking once we polish it up a little bit. Okay, we'll talk about it off air. Okay, let's not. Dude, this is $1 million idea. You want to be a millionaire? Okay, Ronald. See you later.
See you later, guys. Okay, peace out.
Take care.
Yeah, ciao.
Okay, sorry, Pride Gentleman. You were saying, this is going to be known as the big fat block era.
Well, there were big blocks in the late 60s and 70s with the Valjoux, but I think this is going to be the noughties version of the big block series. There's 8 of these in the range, and one you definitely can't get anymore. And that's the all black PVD version. But then you have 3 of the 3 GMTs that are quite controversial because of the size, the thickness. Yeah, but they when they do transition all of these 11 models, the 3 GMTs and the 8 of the chronograph that they have, it will be known as the big block. The post-millennium big block era of this watch. So
wow,
yeah,
I that's what I was hoping for. Like I was hoping for the Tudor to slim it down by 1, maybe 2 millimeters, the case, and then they would have literally competition. They would have the best chronograph.
It's on the drawing board. The 3 dial, the 6, 9, and 12 dial is on the drawing board. We know this.
Oh, really? You think they're gonna do a three
Yeah,
set? What about the date? Is that gonna be at 4 o'clock, or are
the,
they
da-
going to remove the date?
the day either will not be on it at all, be completely omissed, or it will be in the 3 o'clock position.
At 3 o'clock. I wouldn't miss a date. If they got rid of the date,
Yeah.
so be it. I don't care. I got my Daytona. I like the way it is, but I would love if Tudor could create an
Mm.
affordable Daytona
And then you had
for
the
everyone.
43 millimeter Black Bay 6869 that came out. And we call it, in my club, we call it the 6869. 6869, because really it should have been the 69, but
That's what
as
I said.
you know, but they didn't do it for various reasons. There's an argument as to the year of the date that it was conceived, as to the year of the date that it was released in, which was 6 months apart. So 1 year, one day is the date that the snowflake was designed on the drawing board.
Who gives a
And-
fuck when it was designed?
And
Private
then
gentlemen.
the other, no, I don't. You know but anyway, you know.
Nobody. Think about it, private gentlemen. Nobody ever, ever goes by when it was designed. Nobody cares when something was designed. It's
Yeah.
What's next? When the watchmaker got the idea, or when the watchmaker who got the idea was born 50 years before that. Like, it's all nonsense. It's when it was released. It's always when it was released.
Yeah.
I would put my money, I would put $1,000 on the table right now as a bet that Tudor went to the higher ups and said they were going to call this one the 69 to celebrate the release. And they even admit it. They literally, this entire sentence here, this entire paragraph just goes on to explain that actually it's a Black Bay 69, but we couldn't call it the 69. If you read between the lines,
Yeah.
right? Look, 1968 is the year Tudor dreamt up. What dreamt up? Who cares when it was dreamt up? There's not a single watch that they literally pushed the date back by 1 year so that they won't have to call it the 69, because
sure.
69 is just too sexy. Maybe they thought it was too
It had conjugal. It had conjugal suggestions to it. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But to get round the whole issue, most of us diehard Tudor supporters wanted it to be called the 6869 model.
The 6869. I would have liked that it was the 69. I like it.
Yeah.
Who cares that, oh, this is the, it's a very
So anyway, the 243 millimeters,
position.
but obviously Metas, the new Metas movement, but obviously large watches in width, but very thin in their thickness. So that's how they mean to go on with that case. Yeah. And if you look at the case, then that is paving the way for the chronograph.
I like it. It's a big chunky watch, but slim, that wears nice on the wrist. Because like there's big chunky watches that are super uncomfortable to wear. But they are like, hey, there's people who want that big chunk, but they also want to have comfort with it as well. And now they finally have the technology to give people both. And look at the thickness is 13.6. So it's not that bad. 13 millimeters is the thickness where the watch doesn't even feel thick. So that it's being just 0.6 millimeters above the 13 is nothing. It's just gonna be
but you also have to remember the back of the case, the screw cap of the case sticks out 1 millimeter where they enter into the mechanism of the watch, but that sinks into your wrist. That 1 millimeter disappears.
Yeah.
So you're actually getting the 13 mil that you're talking about with, from my point of view. I found
Cool.
with all these Tudors with this particular rear case, the back of the case sinks into the wrist.
Yeah, at those watches they wear a lot small. It depends also how they're going to do that. The 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 case back. I haven't seen the case back on this watch yet. Actually, maybe let me try.
Then of course we go to the Pelagos Ultra,
Ooh, that's a
the
beautiful
1000
remake.
meter, and basically they want to stamp their authority
Yeah.
of dive watch professionalism with that watch, which clearly they've done in abundance. But you know, $6,000, it's a lot of money. You know, that translates to 5,300 UK.
Yeah. So
So
they're kind of slowly increasing the prices. But the titanium Yachtmaster 42,
yeah,
that's from the Rolex. That still goes for a lot of money. And maybe this is their way to kind of like, well, at least it's not too bad. Now, at least you're not paying 30,000 for this one, right? Titanium is super hot right now. Do you get two straps? Yeah, you get both. You get the rubber strap and the bracelet on this one.
uh-huh. Mm.
And you know what? They sneaked in a little bit of Tiffany blue. That's a big color change, I think, cuz
Yeah, and also the minute hand has a different loom variation on
really.
the rest of one of the hands has a different loom variation on the rest of the loom, so that you
Oh,
can have greater accuracy in your calculating when you're down below, especially at those depths that they're
this
suggesting.
this could be used as a like a legitimate diver watch, and I think it's not. Yeah, is it expensive? It is on the expensive side, but it is kind of cool. Kind of no Cyclops, no nonsense. The old one. Now, did they slim it down a little bit compared to the old one?
No, I haven't seen one yet. So they're
Uh huh.
not. It's obviously a larger watch, and the there is a possibility that they've taken a bit off here and there. Yeah.
Ooh, it's 14.5. And it's got the dome sapphire crystal. So okay, so the dome sapphire crystal adds a little bit of thickness there, but it's got 1,000 meters, 300, sorry, 3,280 feet water resistance. Holy shit! Oh, and there's the loom. There you could see blue on all the hands besides the minute hand. That actually helps a lot with the legibility because that's the important hand that you would use to calculate your dive, and that will really stand out
Well,
when
this is the hallmark of them getting into the professional area
yeah,
of
yeah.
diving tool watches. So, but obviously the detractors are going to say that the Yachtmaster is the higher niched watch, and this is a PMR against that. So I don't see it as a lesser watch. I see it as value for money. But you'll have to find out from the pro divers eventually. Maybe you can get someone on the show to ask their opinion on
On the diving.
yeah, so get somebody from the rigs or from underwater salvage and
Hmm.
ask his opinion on, or their opinion on, how they refer this to their work, is what I
Yeah,
would do if I had the
you th-
show.
yeah. Well, I could reach out to someone, but I'm pretty sure that they're gonna be using a diving computer instead of something like this.
Yeah.
But it could be it could be uh quite it could be useful. If I was a diver, I think I'd probably use the Apple Watch Ultra. But the technology stuff, it's finicky. that stuff breaks. Whereas a watch like this, it could seriously save your life. And you know what? Like, yeah, it's big, but it's not gonna feel big because it's titanium. It's gonna feel like nothing on the wrist. It's light because I worn the previous model. Let me check the previous model. Okay, so let's see. So this one is 14.5. Here's the old one, the old Pelagos right there, side by side. And the old Pelagos, oh, it's actually thinner, 14.3. But it's less. And you know what? This is a completely new generation. Hold on a second. Old Pelagos was 500 meters waterproof.
Mm.
The new one is 1,000. This is like a completely new line. You see, because they called it Pelagos. I thought that this was an updated version of the old one, but this is a completely new line. This is the James Cameron version
Definitely.
of the Seedwell. This is
Yeah.
the Seedwell, or this is the Deep Sea. Tudor released the Deep Sea version that they never had.
Yeah, but
Damn.
you can tell the way they want to go with this. This is the beginning of them wanting to go deeper, bigger,
Yeah.
better. And they're using the titanium, system that they've got. And as somebody said in the chat, I forgot to mention the loom plot in the bracelet here.
The loom is beautiful. There is also loom on the bracelet.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
if you look at the bracelet there, you've just flicked out of it. If you scroll back south.
Oh, that's loom?
That's loom in the plot there.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
So you can see that they're going to a more tall watch variant of this piece, and eventually that they will get to a Leviathan sized watch of this particular brand, and it's and that's basically it for this year. I'm sure that there's stuff on the drawing board that's they're going to eke out for the rest of the year. But they're getting ready for their profile, which as we all know, they expect it to take over the previous catalogue and niches of their elder brother, while that lot go into VC, PP, and AP, becoming the fourth of the Trinity, the fourth musketeer of the watch industry.
Wow. I thought that this was the remake. I completely overlooked this release.
No, it's an additional. I wouldn't have suggested it was
completely
a
new
remake.
line.
Yeah,
So they came out with two new lines. That was this new Pelagos. Oh, it's the Pelagos Ultra.
Ultra.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Why didn't they put? Because they didn't put it on the dial. I thought it was just the Pelagos. Okay, so now, whoa, they got some. There's a serious Pelagos collection here. So they got the Pelagos Ultra. That's their deepest line. They got the Pelagos 39. That's the small one. Just what is it? 200. Still 200 meters water resistant. Damn. Okay. So they got the mid range, and they started out with this mid range of what was it? 500 meters. 500. Yeah. And you can see how different the bracelet. Here's the old bracelet, right? It had this thing where there is was it? I think 3
quintessentially that's supposed to be the best expanding water-based strap on the market. Every YouTuber has sang the watch to the hilt based on that mechanism, and I've had it, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. I sorely miss it when I sold it last year. I'm in the process of getting another one, but whether I'm going to wait for a used Ultra is another thing.
Right. Or maybe, well, you might be able to get a used Ultra once they start dropping. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a whole bunch of people who buy them because that's not going to be a high desire watch.
But they're not
Because
in the window here anywhere.
right, not yet.
Maybe in London, but they're not here.
Yeah,
Not in the rural areas.
or not in the weeds. Okay,
No.
but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get it because big watches they're not really popular. Look at all the Rolexes, the deep, the super deep ones, the ultra deep, right? They're all below retail actually.
But when have you ever seen one for sale in the shop window?
No, never. But yeah, never. But gray market. But that's because I think they have a rule now: do not put it into the shop window because it makes the watch look cheap. Deep sea. Let's see, deep sea. But they're flooded on the gray market. Look at it, 1,192 listings. They're unsellable. There's two. Look at
Yeah, but
this. All,
that's all the deep sheet. You're talking about the
yeah.
ultra deep, aren't you? The big one, the £25,000, $25,000,
Oh, you talking about
25.
the titanium one?
Yeah, you're talking
Yeah.
about. I thought you were talking about the big one.
Oh,
Yeah, you
no, no.
can't.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about this one, the deep sea dweller.
Oh yeah.
You see, look at this, 8,000. That's insane. 8,000.
Yeah.
That's cheap. 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 That's 50% below where these used to be. It's over for the deep sea, but also I think this is the older model. They released a newer, updated version of this deep sea, which is a lot better.
Yeah, but
Uh,
a lot of these watches have been professionally used, which is why they appear. Because the boys at work, they go and buy new ones, especially if they've been out in saturation and working out in the field for quite long periods of time. You know,
mhm.
they're earning $2,000 to $4,000 a day. Some of them, they can afford this kind of stuff.
They get
Yeah,
paid big money too,
yeah.
right?
Huge money, massive money.
Yeah, it's a very dangerous job.
Yeah,
You're diving they repair those ships right underneath the hulls of the ship or stuff like
yeah.
that.
There's all sorts of work down below there. All sorts of work.
Mm. And deep sea. This is so cheap. 7,900. If I knew, I would have told you guys to get rid of your deep sea dwellers before it's too late. I think somebody really looking to move this one quickly, but you have to be careful. One member of the watch community bought one of these and it turned out to be fake. And he didn't find out until years later when he needed to service it. Hey, Cars and Chrono, $20 super chat. Happy Easter, everyone. To those who celebrate bunnies. Cheers, Cars and Chrono. I think Cars and Chrono is celebrating Easter as well. I'm not doing anything special, I just came back from the Geneva, Paris, London trip. I'm just trying to relax, have some tacos with the roommate, and just chill out and talk about watches. I just want to talk about watches. That's what this show is about. That's a great see. You see the cool trick that this Tudor Pelagos bracelet has that no other bracelet has is this. It's got 3 points extension, so you can go one extension, two extension, and then when you put it into the fourth extension, so there's three extensions. When you put it in the fourth one, you put it into a spring loaded mode. And then it can extend and contract to your wrist.
yeah. And
On,
there's also a suit extender on there as well.
yeah, and there's also a diver suit extension as well.
Yeah.
It's an extremely elaborate system, very reliable and robust. Here's the guy wearing it over the suit just on the rubber strap alone. How about that? Uh, It's a great watch. It's got the helium escape valve that's just built into the side of the case. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Well, there's a left-hand drive version of it too.
Yeah, with the
Eight-
faux patina and the roulette date wheel.
Yeah, with the Fotina. Nothing like a little bit of a Fotina there.
And the date wheel hovers between black and red on a daily basis. So one set of numbers is in black, the other a set are in red.
Oh, really? I thought they were all red. Okay.
No, they're not. It's called a roulette date wheel.
Ooh, a roulette. Nice.
It's
Like,
nice. It's hard to get hold of at used discount on the grey at a decent price.
Oh yeah, these are difficult to get. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Cool.
I've had 2 opportunities that I didn't take, but
Yeah.
that's my procrastination.
What's going on with your collection? Have you sold any pieces? Added any pieces?
Well, I was going to dump them all for this watch. I put it in the chat.
In the private chat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff there. Ronald put.
This one here, I've just bunged it in down below now
Mm-hmm.
because this came up.
Oh, wow. Wow. Oh my God, that's cheap. That is cheap.
Yeah,
My
18,000 US. I thought that was a cracker, and
That's retail for just the steel one. So if you go retail,
the 2-tone gold.
yeah, and no, just for 18 at retail, you can get a steel one.
Yeah.
And this is a 2-tone.
Yeah.
So basically, for the value of steel, you get 2-tone for free added. That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm down to 5 Tudors now, so that's it. I stripped right back. So 2 chronographs, 2 GMTs, and a Ranger.
Wow. Just let's see here. Also says Billy says you are dreaming. There's nobody wearing these watches in the water. Maybe 1%. Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly. 1%. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about that 1%. Also says not 1% or 2% of people using Seed Dweller, like the most of the people buy because they want a big watch. And the fail says Timmy, thoughts on trading Panda. Whoa, for a Royal Oak. Let's see. 14790 ST.
I mean, the Macmoz in the chat said is 2-tone not finished yet, and actually 2-tone in this particular market here is selling faster than anything. Everybody's jumping to gold.
Fell. That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. I'm sorry. It's just it's terrible. It's terrible idea. Don't do it. The Rolex Panda. It's a one and done watch. It's waterproof. It's reliable. I've had mine for 5 years now. It's still taking, no issues. You're gonna get this 36 mil Royal Oak. I mean, it's cool if you got smaller wrists, but dude, Royal Oak, it's all about the flex. If you show this watch to other Royal Oak or AP enthusiasts, they're just gonna laugh at you because it's not the latest one. With AP, it's all about getting the latest, greatest one. You see it, or you get the 16202. So if you want to trade Panda plus a few other watches, right, for a 15202 or a 202 variant, sure. But for this one, it's kind of, I'm not on board. Sorry. I'm just trying to save you whole bunch of headache and money. Like it's good as far as watches go. If you inherited this watch, it would have been amazing. It would have been the best watch you could ever inherit. But to trade a Daytona, come on, man. Yeah, hopefully that helps you. Just saved you $25,000 and from a terrible decision. The watch is unsellable. Try to buy it and then try to sell it to somebody. Only consignment. Which one? Which one is he talking about? Guys, when you put in the chat that watch, we don't know which watch you're talking about. Whether you're talking about the Sky Dweller or a Tudor we had previously, you have to clarify. Okay, that way it's very easy. It becomes very easy to understand. It's questionable that Jesus liked cigars, but he did build my hot rod, at least according to the band Ministry. Hey, maybe I don't know. Maybe did Jesus smoke cigars? What do you think, private gentleman?
I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't gamble. So I don't do nothing.
I see.
Jesus, did he smoke?
Yeah,
Who knows?
cigars. He definitely drink wine, right?
Yeah, I mean,
But
who knows whether what he did, and who knows who he was either. So I'm sure that it will all come to fruition one of these days.
Mm-hmm. Look, I think the cigars were invented quite recently. When we were uh in London, we learned that brand. There's a brand of cigars. Let me see here. Most
Well, I'm going to have to jump, Timmy. I
yeah,
hope I've been of value to you tonight, and nice to spend a few moments of
yeah,
time. I just wish to come on and say Happy Easter to you and everybody.
yeah,
Hope
yeah.
some wishes to you all.
Yeah, thank you, private gentleman. Really appreciate you joining the stream to update us on what's going on in your neck of the woods in your collection. What you think about the Tudor, and we
Yeah.
hope to have you back on the stream sometime soon.
Yeah. Take care, and
Take care.
thank you. All right. Thank you for having me. Take care. Bye bye. Bye bye.
That's it. Take care. Good night. It's quite late over there. JD says all the money and you can't take Richard Mealy in the water. I know, right? It's funny. It's funny. It's just how it is. It's a fashion piece. It's not a luxury watch. But this one, I think this is a great piece that the private gentleman took a look at. I would have definitely recommended him to flip a couple of Tudors and get this. This is seriously unappreciated. There's just I don't know. The hype beasts, they're not into watches that are I don't know that you can get with just money for some reason. They want to get the steel one and then they hype up the steel one, but you get gold for the price of steel. How is that not better? Which there's the cigars. Which cigars? Let's see. I've got like I even have Google open over here with all the cigar brands, but I forget which ones. It's not a Cohiba. They told us it's like not Upwind, not a Bolivar. Uh, it's not Trinidad. Cohiba Robusto, Monte Cristo. There is a brand of cigars that uh, that uh, that means cigars. Basically, when the settlers saw the like Native Americans or whatever the tribes smoking cigars, they said, "Oh, is that Cohiba?" I don't think it's a Cohiba. Maybe it was a Cohiba. Maybe that's what Cohiba means. But I'm think I'm wrong. There is it's just escaped my mind which one it was. I don't think it was a Cohiba though. Maybe I'll ask. I need to ask Sean. He definitely remembers. Jesus will be joining us for wine and cigars in Napa. Yes, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. Um, Cars and Chrono member for 39 months. Thank you so much, Timmy. Tell these guys you met and know Jesus. Does he like cigars? I met Jesus. Very nice guy. He drives an Aston Martin. He loves his water resistant wristwatches, even though he can walk on water. And he's a sommelier. He knows his wines more than anybody else I've met. Maybe close with Mike Lewis. I don't know. That will be put to the test in a couple of weeks. And just generally, and a huge watch collector. He loves watches with the cross on them. Huge fan of Vacheron, Constantin. And yeah, good dude. Just generally good dude. Thank you, cars. Which cigars? I forget. I do forget. Bolivar. I had a box of cigars. Actually, I still have it. Actually, the JMB gifted me, and there was a mini emergency with them. I opened the box, and they had a little bit of blooming going on, especially the Bolivar. The Bolivar was blooming a little bit. The Monte Cristo, untouched. The Cohiba, just a little bit. I think that one in the end. What is that? The Port Port or something. Romeo and the Juliet had a little bit. But I was told that it's okay. I just wiped it. Actually, I was told not to even touch it. It just adds to the character of the cigars. But by then, Cohiba, maybe Cohiba. You know what, Russell? If Cohiba means tobacco in Cuban, then it's probably what they were talking about. That like the settlers came in and they saw the natives smoking cigars, and they're like, "What is that?" And they said, "Oh, Cohiba, Cohiba." So I think that's what they named the cigars after. Derek M, thank you so much for being member for 28 months. Grand Seiko Tantograph that looks like a Daytona. Thoughts? Hold on, let's pull it up. Grand Seiko Tantograph. Oh yeah, that looks like a Daytona. This one, right? Mm. Let's see it. You're not talking about the new release. There's a new release. You're talking about this one, right? Unfortunately, it's thick. Tentograph. Tentograph is a tenth of a second. Look at that. Interesting watch. Very interesting. Let me just pull up a video of it. The problem that I have with these Grand Seikos, man, is that they're so thick. The new generation, however, they've fixed some issues with it. Oh, here we go. Actually, there's a video on it. Hold on a second. Hold on. There's a special movement, I think. Here we go. Let's see. What do they got going on here? Uh-huh. Tentograph. 36,000 vibrations per hour. Column wheel. Automatic. So, two barrels. Oh, and look at that. That looks like a coaxial escapement, right? Look at the star wheel. That's not a regular escapement. It's not even like the Rolex is escapement. The column wheel. Pretty cool. Mm. 3-point hammer. What does that mean? Stop. Reset. It's just the problem that it's thick. They went through all this trouble, designed a fully integrated chronograph movement, but no screw down on the pusher, so you can actually use the chronograph. 100 meters water resistance is pretty cool. Like it looks all right, but the problem is, let's see, can we pull it up on Ho Dinky? Dinky got the new one. There's the, I guess that's the old one and the new one. The Grand Seiko launches two new. Oh, okay, two new. Tokyo and the other one. Okay, so what's the thickness? Oh my god, they're not even putting the thickness. They're not allowed to put the thickness. Wow. Oh no, okay, they do have it. 15.3. How? How is it so thick? How? Oh damn, my camera froze. Well, that's too bad. Maybe I just turn it off like this. No. I have to reset it. Turn off. I'm getting a new camera, guys. Just a regular webcam. No more fancy bokeh like I had. Gotta get a new cheap camera. Thickness 15.3. Even the Tudor that the Tudor just recently released with 1,000 meters water resistance was only like, was it 14 millimeters thick, 14 something. No, yeah, 14. I think 14.5. Whereas this thing is just too thick. I'm sorry. I like it. It looks fantastic. Looks just like a Daytona, but although like if you're a big guy, this could be a great watch because the dial has a lot of depth and dimension to it. You see, it's got the sub dials that are curved. Look at the inward curves. That just looks so cool. And then the dial's got this pattern on it. Oh, whoa! The case back is not screwed down. It's held in by the bolts. Look at these hexagonal bolts. Looks so sick. Titanium. At least it's gonna be light. But man, look at that. It kind of reminds me a little bit of AP. What's they called? Those APs. Um, research. What are they? The research. You know, the really thick APs. Yeah, it's just too big. Even the Tudor is thinner than this Daytona. And this one, that looks pretty cool. Look at the ears. It kind of looks like a cat. If you close, if you just like put your hand over the bottom lugs, the top lugs look like cat ears. Cool stuff. It's cool, but it's too thick. Luckily, Grand Seiko didn't end there. They released a new Grand Seiko, a concept AP. Thank you, JMB. Concept, yeah, looks like a concept, right? So thick. But yeah, you know what? Let's take this opportunity here to also talk about the Rolex brand, the crown and the caliber. Our good friend John, he has written an article about Rolex. I've I read it already, the first part, but today I thought let's go through the whole thing and then discuss uh, because um, Rolex is now spruiking their new movement, and usually that's not what Rolex is known for. It's not a movement like it's not an impressive movement manufacturer. In fact, Rolex always like their movements, they're concealed and they don't like to brag about their movements like other manufacturers. But with the land dweller, this is like the first time that I think Rolex is trying to boast about their movement manufacturing. They kind of started it with the 1908 open case backs, and but the 1908 it was kind of their old style of movement with the new finish. But this time the 1908 was all about the finish of the movement, their new style, and then the new movement has the same finish as 1908, but also it boasts some interesting technology um, that I want to discuss. So I'll read the introduction, and then we'll talk about the 3 points that Rolex usually is known for, and then we'll take a look at the new Rolex movement. Okay, so this is really well written. I'm not the best reader, so I'll just try to do my best and we'll just blast through this just a couple of minutes. Whether we like it or not, and we're willing to admit it, there's only one brand in the Swiss luxury watch industry which has become synonymous with the industry itself. For both the connoisseur and the commoner, one brand has essentially become the moniker for the entire industry. Just as saying Google it has become synonymous with look it up. When it comes to luxury watches, Rolex has managed to become a deity in the industry. Whether you love or hate Rolex, the impact of the brand is undeniable. In 2025, Rolex has become as recognizable as Apple logo or the Nike swoosh and has managed to consume attention in effortless way. The Rolex brand is seemingly everywhere while never really oversaturating the senses. It lingers in our collective consciousness the way a faint remnant of the perfume clings to the air long after the person wearing it has left the room. And he's got this image here. This is the clocks that I often see at the airports. Going to the airport, all the clocks are Rolex clocks, and it's pretty cool reminder that hey, it's Rolex. Rolex, you're on accurate time. Now, before any of you true collectors and diehard watch enthusiasts disagree with this thesis at the onset, consider the heuristic being applied to true and vast brand appeal. To quantify the true appeal and impact of a company or a product, we have to consider both the novice and the master. We must consider both the seasoned and aspiring collectors, the indoctrinated enthusiasts, as well as the ignorant bystander. That is why it's called mass appeal. Whether we like it or not, for any brand, mass appeal does matter. Any successful company and brand wants customers' retention as well as customer creation. However, unlike many of its competitors, Rolex is not looking at the next quarter. Rolex is looking at the next quarter century. This is kind of he broke it down the way people think of like certain type of products, right? People who can afford your product should be competing for it. People who can't afford your product should be lusting after it, and people who don't want your product should at least recognize it. And that's kind of in the world of watches. Rolex has become that baseline It's the thing that everything is compared to. Oh, should you get a new Lange und Söhne? Well, what can you get from Rolex in that price point? And maybe Rolex would be better. Oh, should you get this new independent? Well, what kind of Rolex can you get for that money? It's the thing that everybody goes back to. It's the U.S. Rolex is the U.S. dollar or the Bitcoin or gold of the commodities market. Of course, for those of us well versed in the luxury watch market, many other brands come to mind when we think of Grail watches and high horology. Regardless of this fact, it isn't the appeal to the refined user alone which drives a brand's market share and appeal. On the contrary, Rolex has positioned its product as a gateway drug and the staple of any collection. The unique impact of Rolex is that even people who know nothing about watches are likely to know what a Rolex is. If you can reside in the consciousness of those who can never afford your product or aren't in the market, aren't you going to eventually end up in the consciousness of those who can? Exactly. Furthermore, how early does marketing and brand recognition actually start? How many of us knew about Rolex before we ever heard of Vacheron Constantin or Breguet? How many seasoned collectors in the watch community have every major and exclusive brand in their collection except for Rolex? Yet there's some super collectors who avoid Rolexes altogether. Like they don't want to have Rolex in their collection, but that's very rare. And that's there's certain people who kind of say, I'm beyond Rolex now. But if you're gonna have one watch, like Rolex is just so good. So if people who don't even know about your industry are aware of your company and product, isn't it a safe bet that you're doing something right? So what is Rolex doing that is so right? So I read it until this point, and now we're going to talk about the uh, three pillars that make Rolex what it is. The desirability. And you guys, feel free to join in the chat and let me know whether you agree or disagree, or feel free to add anything you want to this. Desirability is at the core of every brand. That's actually why I told a private gentleman earlier today, like Rolex, they don't want their watches to be in the window seen as available because that might make it look like they might make them look less desirable because people want what they can't have. The Rolex manages to achieve brand desirability better than any other watch brand. See, Rolex is not about watchmaking, but okay, let me start from the beginning. I'm gonna blast through this. Desirability is at the core of every brand. Rolex manages to achieve broad desirability better than any other watch brand. Unlike many of its competitors, Rolex appeals to the sense of adventure and prestige while maintaining ruggedness and refinement. Whether you are an attorney, a consultant, a cardiologist, or a pilot, Rolex has a watch designed to appeal to your image. It's all about the image. Rolex appeals to like human needs almost. It's a very emotional brand because desirability is an inherent human need. Tapping into this emotional need is critical for the brand's success. Being desired is as basic and elemental to the product and companies as it is to the human being as a species. We all want to be loved, admired, lusted after, and desired. A successful product not only speaks to your identity, but complements it. Whether a well tailored suit or a watch, a well crafted product convinces you that it will accentuate and improve your image. Well, not me. I mean, nothing can improve this image. Let's be honest. Furthermore, it promises to refine and illuminate what is already there, showcasing your attributes and success through a visible talisman for the world to see. Whether we admit it or not, we all care what other people think, and we are all trying to signal something to other people. Show me a person who proudly proclaims, I don't care what other people think about me, and I'll show you a liar and a fool. Guys, is Timmy liar and a fool? Do I care what people think about me? I'm wearing a Rolex. A Rolex. Actually, let me take it off. Take it off. I'm not worthy, guys. I am undeserving. Let's be honest. Okay. Let's just put it aside here. Okay. It's too much. The Rolex is too powerful. If you have mirrors in your home and bathe and groom yourself, okay, on regular basis, you absolutely care what other things think of you. It doesn't make you vain. It makes you a normal human who understands social bonds and a person who seeks acceptance and community. Brands creating a product are no different than you in this sense. This is deep, man. John is dissecting freaking Rolex brand on a like an emotional level. How, like, why people want it. This is incredible stuff, guys. To his subscribe to John's Substack. The dude is truly a genius. Also, hey, Red Shovel. Good to see Red Shovel in the chat. They all, so here we go. We could go. Brands creating a product are no different than you in this sense. Well, the good brands, the brands that are so powerful, that have captured human imagination, that's what they do. They tap into the human emotion, and that's how they become successful. They're not just making a great product. They tap into emotions. They all want to attract and retain our attention as well as our money. Brands want to be loved, celebrated, lusted after, and admired, just as humans compete with one another for attention and love. Brands will compete with each other for customers. They will also seek self improvement and innovation to retain their customers and attract new ones. That's why Rolex is releasing this new movement, because they see the change, the shift in the market. The watch customers, they want an open case back. They want hot horology. They want a nicely finished movement. Rolex knows we need to move with the times. For Rolex, desirability is one of the pillars of its ethos, and one of the main underpinnings of its success. Rolex is one of the most desired and sought after brands within the watch industry. At the core of this desirability is the aspirational appeal of Rolex. You're being sold a projected image of being one step closer to something greater. You're being sold something to admire, celebrate, or mark a milestone. Yeah, that's why they partner with was it Nadal, right? No, Federer. Sorry, not Nadal. Federer. That's why they put that image of Federer and him wearing the land dweller. You want to be like Nadal? You want to hang out in the company of cool, successful, number one people in the world? You wear a land dweller. Every time you look at your wrist, you'll be reminded that you're wearing the same watch as the other great men in history. You're wearing the same watch worn by Paul Newman or Roger Federer. You're wearing the watch worn by Navy SEALs and the CIA case officers. just as Nike Air Jordans are subconsciously bringing you that much closer to the greatness of Michael Jordan, a Rolex is bringing you that much closer to the greatness of adventurers, clandestine operators, explorers, athletes, celebrities, and artists. If you're doubting this analysis and believe that you're not capable of being seduced by the marketing, I urge you to either continue to reside in your blissful ignorance or sober up and recognize that your psychology is just as malleable as any other person who has ever bought something they didn't really need. Look, unless you're a psychopath, right? There's few exclusions. There's people with severe psychological disorders that they truly don't care what other people think. But if you're a semi-normal individual, then that's how marketing works. They'll get you. Believing that you're immune to marketing and advertising is like believing that you're immune to propaganda. The fact that you are not aware of its effects is indicative of its effectiveness. Good marketing is like lethal virology. The most insidious and lethal pathogen doesn't immediately alert the host to its presence. By the time you realize you've been infected, it's usually too late. Boom, man, this is powerful stuff. I told you guys, this is a powerful article. It's John, he's been working with some of the most dangerous individuals there in the world. So he knows about psychology. Powerful stuff. Let's see. Newbie says, when I think of land dweller, I think of some slimy blob that crawled out of the ocean and adopted to land about 100 million years ago. It's true. Powerfully brainwashing. Yeah, well, that's what it is, right? Marketing is a brainwashing. If you can, now the thing is, you could know all of this. You could be aware of the brainwashing, right? You could be aware, like, hey, it's just a freaking watch. This watch is not gonna make me actually a great fucking explorer, right? I'm not gonna be cave diving just because I put on Explorer, right? Uh, you could be aware of that, right? And but you do have to be um, you do have to be a really smart guy. You have to be, or a woman. You have to be very intelligent to be able to resist it. But the problem is that just most people out there, they're not aware of what the heck's going on. They genuinely think that somebody who wears a Rolex is a success, has to be a successful person. That's why actually a lot of people are like super pissed off at me for wearing Rolexes, because like, what the fuck, it's actually I pissed them off that here I am, basically a nobody, and I'm wearing a Rolex, and they freaking, busted their ass, worked, really hard, and maybe created a super expensive. Not everyone, right? I'm just saying there's few, there's some people. It just really pisses them off that they don't think some people are deserving of a Rolex, because that this is not me, right? I'm not a successful pilot or a SEAL, or anything like that. So there's a mismatch. But just general people on the street, if they know what a Rolex is, they might look at my wrist, and without knowing anything about me, they might think that guy, he's done something right. Right? He must be doing something, because how the heck is he able to wear, why does he have a Rolex on his wrist? Okay? So it's interesting. It's interesting stuff. Um the masses are brainwashed to think what Rolex means, and if you care about status, right? Rolex is a great brand for that because now if you care about horology and watchmaking, you're better off getting a Breguet, right? Because that's a brand that has true history in watchmaking. It's got incredible craftsmanship, hand guilloche. I mean, it's just on a completely different level. But Breguet does not sell their watches as a status symbol. They sell their watches as important watches in history, and that hits differently. It doesn't hit you on the emotional level, right? It hits you on it's if you know, you know. It's for it's for it's like a secret club for those people who truly care about watchmaking. But anyways, let's keep going here with the article. It doesn't end there. If you thought this was powerful, that was just the first part, right? The desirability. Now, here's the second part. Value. Value is really important to Rolex, and maybe I can make this even bigger so it's easier to read. Uh, guys, subscribe to the Substack. So value. What is value? Value is the second critical pillar of the brand, holding up the crown of the Rolex above nearly all other competitors. While the value of any product can typically be calculated through simple math, the value of a Rolex goes far deeper than the cost of the individual timepiece. In fact, if we think of what value really means when it comes to a Rolex, we have to consider the dynamic of value from a slightly unconventional perspective. Exactly, because Rolex is not a simple commodity. It's not that simple. There's all types of, more desirable, less desirable pieces. There's all kinds of interesting stuff that's going on. You can spend your entire life studying Rolex, and it's not going to be enough. Okay. Although most people tend to think of value in relation to what they already possess, value can also be calculated based on your desire to own something you don't currently have in your possession. The real value of something is not only calculated by the consideration of what it costs and what you're willing to spend, but whether you're willing to go on living your life without it and what you're willing to sacrifice in order to attain it. This value calculation is what begins to grow in your brain after desirability seed has been planted, right? Once, because Rolex has an unreasonable price, right? You have to sacrifice it. It has to hurt when you pay for Rolex. I mean, this Explorer is nearly 1 year of rent in most cities in United States. You can buy a house in Ukraine. Guys, this single watch, I can sell this Explorer 2 and I can buy a house with few acres of land in Ukraine and retire, and I'm done. Right? So you have to choose. You have to choose your battles. What is more important for you? Furthermore, value retention is critical when you're considering spending tens of thousands on a product. Almost every model Rolex offers will retain nearly all of its monetary value, except the deep sea dweller, long after you leave the authorized dealer. Additionally, several key models in the catalog will instantly gain value. Think of Panda Daytona. The minute you purchase them, this added layer of price security and value retention allows people to comfortably invest their money into Rolex timepieces or park. Like you can buying a Rolex is not really spending money, because like you can spend money. Like if you buy a banana and you eat the banana, the money you spend on the banana is now in the hands that you get on of the farmer or whatever, or of the salesperson, right? You no longer have that money. But when you put money in a Rolex, you don't really lose that money. It kind of stays, or you can even gain, right? Like some people are selling their sermons for $17,000. It's which is ridiculous, but true. While assets like Rolex, yes, watches are assets, are typically not considered traditional investments, it's hard to argue that getting a Rolex for 10,000, wearing it for several years, and then subsequently selling it for 19,500 wouldn't qualify fairly as a good investment. That's a pretty good investment, if you ask me. That's why all my money in watches. Please don't rob me. Although this price tag may seem grotesque to anyone who isn't a luxury watch enthusiast, this is yet another critical layer within the tapestry of Rolex. When it comes to prices, there is a vast gulf between Rolex Submariner and Patek Philippe Nautilus, much more vast, in fact, than the gulf between the same Rolex Submariner and an Apple Watch. This mass appeal can be seen in other luxury markets, such as luxury cars. There are far more men out there who can afford a Porsche than men who can afford a Rolls Royce. Staying in the more attainable range is what keeps Rolex in the lead and owning nearly 40% of the watch market. Exactly. Exactly. Hold on. I lost my cursor. Okay, so there you go. Like, um, I think a lot of you guys were probably already familiar with this fact that Rolex is an asset. It's kind of an art piece, and depending on which model you get, if you buy smart, you can make money. I mean, that's the entire gray market dealer. That's just flipping watches for profit. It's possible. If there, it's but in some models it's not possible, right? Certain watch brands, but because those watch brands, they don't position themselves as as a kind of a investment piece. Rolex have been kind of spreading the story that you can buy a Rolex, stick it in the safe, and then 50 years later, sell it for massive profit. Okay, guys, let's see. Gray market banana dealers. Yeah, imagine gray market banana dealers. Hey, I've got a limited edition banana, There- or a banana with the Tiffany stamp. Oh, funny stuff. Rolex is better than bananas. Thank you, thank you. Think real knows exactly what's going on. And Phil T says only very few models of Rolex sell for higher than retail these days. The sports stainless steel, that's about it. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? If if you knew the market, like you really have to kind of follow watches for 10 plus years, right? Maybe more, in order to understand the ebb and flow of watches, right? If And even stainless steel, steel sports, it's not all the models, right? There's certain models that will be uh, way more desirable than certain other models. So you have to be you can't just watch one timepiece gentleman video and then start investing into watches. It's You really have to know the industry, the people in the industry. You have to know all the watchmakers, because there's certain watches that are more desirable or will be more desirable than certain common Rolexes. But at least what's true about Rolex is that it will retain a lot of its value, more so than any other brand out there. And so there's three pillars that John listed. The final third pillar is exclusivity. E. Stewart Hall says this concept of only buying watches that retain 100% or more of their value is pretty lame if you think about it. It is lame, and nobody should be buying watches that only retain value, right? For example, I bought a 4P watch, right? There's no fun in buying watches that retain value, but I think that's what makes Rolex. He's not advocating here for buying Rolexes versus any other brand. He's just explaining why Rolex is so powerful, right? Obviously, you got at the end of the day, you guys should buy whatever you like, um, and what sings to your heart. Um, but it's good to know why Rolex and how it became so popular. What it is. See, look, like I have a Ming over here. It's a Ming watch, right? Um, it's but like if you're gonna recommend for someone, if somebody says, I want the watch, right? And they couldn't care less which watch they have. They just want one watch for the rest of their life. It's pretty good to recommend them a Rolex because you recommend them a Rolex. Not only are they getting a sick watch, later down the road, if they have to sell it, boom, they get their money back. Ching! It's pretty cool. Um, Phil also says I buy watches that I like, don't care what people think. Exactly, Phil. Exactly. But different watches that you wear will make people think different things about you. Sometimes, wearing Rolex makes people think not the best things about you, right? Because um, there's a lot of there's a lot of douchebags that wear Rolexes. E. Stewart Hall, thank you so much for the super sticker. $1. Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Guys, if you appreciate these streams, if you like them, if you like talking watches, support the show. Become members. You can super chat or you can use PayPal link if you want to donate directly. I use the money to pay rent and to keep coming back here and try to put on a new show for you guys every single day. Let's keep going here. Exclusivity. The third pillar of Rolex is exclusivity. Is the third pillar responsible for the continued success of Rolex as a brand? We all know the feeling of exclusivity, whether we're the ones benefiting from it or the ones feeling excluded by it. Ooh, yeah. It's a double-edged sword. Exclusivity. You're either have it's sad to be on that other side of not owning like a Rolex or something that's exclusive, and it makes you want to go to the other end and to the other side and see what it's like. And I gotta be honest, it's not that special. It's all right, but you know, there's better. There's better. As far as watches go, there's better watches. Exclusivity comes in many forms and is often recognized by others without a single word being uttered. Exclusivity is often subtle yet obvious. It can be it could be demonstrable yet difficult to quantify. Exclusivity is being led past the crowd and around the velvet rope into a nightclub. Exclusivity is sitting in the first class while the rest of the plane boards into economy. Hey, Daniel Katz experienced exclusivity when he was getting on that Virgin Atlantic flight back to Canada. They walked him past the Grand Piano in Champagne and set him into a tiny little seat. Um, um, while the Rolex AD experience may lack some of the pampering you would get when visiting another Swiss watch boutique, the exclusivity for Rolex is derived from knowing that you're getting a highly sought after timepiece while others are not. It is a signal of your status, accomplishment, wealth, appeal, and power. Power, guys. It's all about power. Right? When you're wearing a solid gold dancer, you're wearing power. It makes you feel powerful. It's a big, hey, look at me. I've accomplished things. That's what actually Sylvester Stallone says in the A Watch and His Man, and why he bought a gold GMT. Because he could. He just made a successful movie. He made $1 million, and you put on the gold watch. That's what you do. Dr. Bob's Nightmare, thank you so much for $1.50 super sticker. A banana. Guys, send me some of those bananas. I need potassium. As with desirability. Oh, and by the way, and the way Rolex makes the buyers feel exclusive is that they have special requirements for authorized dealers. If you want to sell Rolex, guess what? You have to like Rolex has to be in a separate room. You can't just sell Rolex next to other brands like it's a fish market. Okay, Rolex requires their authorized dealers to sell their watches in a completely separate room where it's a Rolex environment. You have to have full Rolex outfit. You have to have Rolex cabinets. It's completely. You walk into back when when Tourneau was Tourneau or Bucherer, right? You walk in, there's all the brands. They're slapped inside the windows like fish on the fish market, right? With their guts out. And then there's a separate room to the right. You walk through the doors and they have proper lighting in there. It's like you walk into the pearly gates. You go, hallelujah. It's Rolex. They sell you, and then the people who sell you Rolex, the sales associates, they're required to wear a green Rolex tie, and when they present you your watch, they have a special tray with flaps. Okay, they put the watch under the flaps, and then when they bring it to you, they go like this. They got the tray, right? And then you have to open. It's like a present, it's a special presentation technique. It's these little things, but most people they don't know what the hell is going on. It just goes above their head. They don't understand that they're being kind of emotionally manipulated in a way, like they're unwrapping a present. It's cool stuff, actually. Look, it's marketing. It's all marketing, guys. As with desirability, there is nothing inherently wrong with feeling exclusive and special. These emotions are just part of the human condition. While we are capable of managing these emotions and desires, while doing our best to limit any corrosive and toxic outcomes, yeah, I think I bought too many watches. We cannot pretend that these emotions and drives don't exist. We want to feel special, unique, and exclusive. When compared to other people, we want to be recognized as individuals and celebrated for our individuality. At the most basic level, this is derived through the concept known as value through exclusion. Oh, value through exclusion. You see it? Rolexes are in a separate room. There's no other unwanted watches touching it, and that's why it feels exclusive, because it's created, it's sold in an exclusive environment. While it can be ugly and cynical, this posturing is simply an artifact from our evolution, one we have yet to discard. We signal to others our status and desirability, as well as our value to the world. As social creatures, we're constantly sending out and receiving signals from each other with what we wear, what we say, and how we look. Yeah, that's why I was getting so much shit for wearing the cloud shirt and the stuff. Some people who care about, they're so elitist. They're elite, and you look, there's elite people, and then there's me, right? I'm not special, guys. I'm not special. I'm not exclusive. I'm just being myself. Yeah, I'm wearing a couple of Rolexes, but honestly, like, for me, I just love the quality things. Man, this whew, these live streams have taken my life into unexpected turns. But anyways, let me finish this article, guys, and I'll let you go. You feel special when you get the call from your Rolex AD, because you know that it means something someone else didn't. You got the watch. It's like being asked on a date by a woman in your office everyone has a crush on. This feeling of exclusivity continues when you leave the AD and venture into the world with your newly acquired Rolex. Your watch is a miniature signal to others that you're part of an exclusive club. Furthermore, the astronomical premium on the secondary market continues to reinforce this exclusivity for those who want a Rolex and can't obtain one from the AD. A hefty price tag awaits on the gray market. Anyone can fly first class as long as they're willing to pay for it. But whether you paid for it but whether you paid for your first class seat with cash, miles, or personality, yeah, there's actually ways to get into first class by just having a little bit of charisma. That seat is still more exclusive and more comfortable than anything in the middle or the rear of the plane. Oh, there's a little bit more here. Hey, Cars and Chrono, $10 super chat. Breguet invited me to check out a new release next Tuesday. Any guesses what it may be? I'm thinking a Tourbillon. Oh, dude. There's actually some sneak peeks or in the on the Instagram that Breguet has been teasing. I'm gonna pull it up actually in a second. I've got the final paragraph here, and I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll show you. The sneak peeks. I'm just reading about this is John written an article dissecting what makes Rolex what it is, what makes it so successful. So, and this is the last three paragraphs. Of course, it is important to acknowledge that the aforementioned concepts can be found in other brands. In fact, there are undoubtedly other concepts at play which I have failed to list here. These more nuanced and detailed concepts may offer a more in depth explanation behind the success of Rolex as well as the success of other Swiss watch brands. Several other brands are far more exclusive and potentially more valuable than Rolex, but they typically come with much higher price tag. Therefore, far fewer people are interested in trying to obtain them, making them less desirable despite their value and exclusivity. Numerous other watches are less exclusive and can be obtained without a wait list, or significant purchase history. However, by being more readily available, they become less desirable and typically retain much less of their value after being purchased. This is really like, he even does a disclaimer. Where Rolex appeared to be unique is in their ability to fuse all three into a robust and enduring product, one which has withstood the test of time and competition. It is this amalgamation which keeps the Rolex solidified for the foreseeable future. So while Rolex may not be part of the Holy Trinity, the Rolex Trinity of desirability, value, and exclusivity appears to show no significant relinquishing of the crown. Boom, there you go. That's the article. I'm going to drop the link one more time to the article itself and a link to John's Substack. Guys, check out the article yourself. Subscribe to John's Substack. And he's got more articles on his Substack about other subjects that may interest you, like about the mistakes of war, the asymmetry of truth, and the immigration nation, as well as next attack. He's got interesting stuff there, guys. Go check it out yourself. It's good stuff. He's a really well spoken guy, and highly recommend it. A great contributor to the show as well. Now, just going back here to what John's first point was about desirability, right? And what people desire. And in the last couple of years, in the last 10, 20 years, open case backs with incredibly finished movements, like Patek Philippe went mainstream. Audemars Piguet went mainstream. Those are mainstream brands now. They're referenced in pop culture. Okay, so Rolex has adapted to the changing times. First, by introducing the 1908 with a new finish on their movements, and now in the Land Dweller with by introducing new technology into the mix, their new Dynapulse Escapement. So I thought, okay, you know what? Let's give it a read because I don't know much about it. But I thought, hey, there's an article written on Fratello, and yeah, we've been shitting on Land Dweller for a while. We don't like the dials, we don't like the no micro adjustment. This watch has a lot to criticize about it. But let's see what does this movement, and also what became really desirable in watchmaking is kind of innovative technology, right? It's every year watchmakers come on the scene and they introduce some new fucking thing in the movement. Oh, it's got the movement with new technology. There's new complication, fancy stuff. So Rolex like, hey, you know what? Hold my beer. Let's get into this. So here's what they're doing. Rolex surprised friends and foe with new movement this year at the Watches and Wonders. Well, that's always relatively big deal in our little horological sub-universe. Caliber 7135 represents a particularly big milestone. Rolex developed a brand new escapement dubbed Dyna Pulse. We felt it was about time to take a closer look at it. Of course, the new caliber and this new technology debuted in hotly debated Land Dweller. Today, however, I want to focus on the escapement alone. Let's see why this is such a big deal. As you can see, it's like most gears, the pallet fork, and the running train are made out of silicon. So friction is the enemy. The vast majority of mechanical watches use traditional Swiss lever escapement. So Swiss lever escapement, actually, it has rubies on metal gear. So there's friction because ruby ruby on metal creates friction, but ruby on ruby would be less frictionless, but you can't make a gear out of a ruby. So what Rolex did, they created the pallet fork completely made out of silicon, and silicon has similar type of properties as a ruby has, where it has no friction. And then it made the gears out of a ruby as well, out of a silicon as well. So you've got silicon on silicon frictionless escapement. This type of so the Swiss lever escapement relies on the pallet fork and an escape wheel, right? The pallet fork has a ruby at the end, and the escape wheel usually is made of metal. The balance wheel rocks the pallet fork back and forth, progressing and halting the escape wheel in discrete steps. These regulating off the escape wheel's motion is due to friction between the pallet fork's jewels and the wheel. It's kind of like what I explained. Unfortunately, the friction causes wear and reduces efficiency. So over time, the the escape wheel gets worn out and it will need to be replaced. This is why lubricants are necessary to prevent parts from eating into each other. Lubricants, however, deteriorate, which is the bottleneck of the movement service interval. Also, a whopping 2/3 of the energy from the mainspring is used up rather than transferred to the balance wheel. Simply put, Swiss lever escapement is anything but efficient. Okay, so here comes Rolex with their new Dynapulse escapement. Other attempts at reducing friction before Dynapulse. Throughout centuries, watchmakers have made many efforts to develop a more efficient escapement. Rolex itself has chronergy escapement, which altered geometry, resulting in about 15% greater efficiency. So they're already done some stuff. Okay. Theoretically, the detente escapement is the perfect solution. That's the movement that um, Raul Pages created and won the uh, Louis Vuitton Award for Creative Independence. Right, but it's so extremely difficult to make that it's not practical, probably on mass production. It provides a direct impulse to the balance wheel with no friction. Unfortunately, the detente is single impulse mechanism, which means it doesn't self start. It is also too easily whacked out of balance for use in everyday as a tool watch. Breguet's natural escapement can be poorly explained as two detente escapements paired together. Okay, natural escape. Without going into too much details, the mechanism introduces new inefficiencies. George Daniels then took a natural escapement and redesigned it without the meshing gears. The resulting mechanism was much more practical for use in watches for daily wear. It reduced the dreaded sliding friction to nearly zero, with the remaining friction being of the radial kind. So now, what is a dynapole? I have some videos that I prepared of the Tante escapement. I'll show it in a second. So, oh, actually, you know what? Let me show you. Maybe I'll show you now the Detente escapement. because Raul Pages, he did an interview. Unfortunately, the interviewer is talking in English, but Raul Pages is talking in.
Avec des machines actionnées à la main. Oui.
Now coming back on the dial side.
Okay, hold on. We want to go to the movement side. What is this? Hold on. I think it's over here.
Bouge pas à pas, et donc on devine le mouvement en voyant les bras de la roue bouger à chaque impulsion. Mais les dents ont l'air immobiles tellement ça va vite.
Too fast. The teeth. So, oh yeah, it's very complex, guys.
Aussi, on a l'impression
The tongue looks motionless. So, what you have to look at is, I'll zoom it in for you guys. I'll try to explain best I can. It's one of those things impossible to explain. Hold on. So I've got a macro zoom in. Okay, so if you look here, here's the what's it called? The escape wheel. This on the left is the escape wheel, and it's got these teeth here. Right? I'm highlighting it in a red marker. These are the teeth. Here is the jewel, and it's shaped like a half circle. Okay? So what happens, this detente goes in a circle. It flips around, and in the time that it flips around, it's going to catch the next tooth. All right? So the teeth are going down, and every time the hairspring vibrates, it rotates this jewel, making it skip to the next gear. So, okay? I mean, I guess that, so instead of having a back and forth motion, there's only a single forward motion. The gear is only going forward in circle here, and this the taunt is what keeps the pace. Super complex, guys. And it involves two hairsprings. It's a miracle that he created. It's so fast the way this thing works. You can see the gear on the left actually turning, but the detente is working so quickly that it's impossible to see it moving. It just looks like the gear goes through the jewel. It's so bizarre. He can speak English. I spoke with him in English. Well, but I guess maybe he's trying to explain technical stuff. So he's talking, I guess it's French, although who knows? Anyways, he talks about the finishing there of the moment. It's all great stuff, but when it comes to the Dynapulse, right? Going back to the Dynapulse, the detente is great, but not very practical. Yeah. Cars and Chrono says that he unboxed a hourglass. Yeah, there was a revolt almost. I had a mutiny. People turned. They turned on me and Cars for unboxing an hourglass. I thought it was fucking amazing. It was one of the most incredible hourglasses I have ever seen. But I think people were expecting like some kind of a Lange or an MBNF. I was even more blown away by the hourglass. You know, it was cool. It was like with the blue sand some ridiculous filler as well. It wasn't just regular sand; it was special. I have a regular hourglass right here. Actually, right here. Check it out, guys. Somebody threw it, left it in the near the garbage, and I picked it out. Thought, whoa, what the hell? That was cool, and it works. See there? It's working, guys. Well, I'll just leave it. I don't know how many minutes this is. I never tested it, to be honest. Let's just put it here. There we go. Okay, now what the hell is Dynapulse? So with that little bit of context around Dynapulse out of the way, let's focus on Rolex's innovation. Although it looks quite similar to the natural escapement, this is very different. For starters, there is no direct impulse from the wheels to the balance wheel. Instead, the impulse is provided by a rocker that sits between the wheels. Typically, then, the Dynapulse has nothing to do with the natural escapement. Okay, so the rocker. This is the rocker over here, and that's what goes between the two wheels. So I guess the hairspring sits over here, and it rocks the rocker from one side to the other, and that's what creates the pace for the two wheels. And look at the shape of those wheels. Holy fuck! And you can only create that in a 3D program. The most silicon mechanism is about 30% more efficient than a Swiss lever escapement. This allows Rolex to up the beat rate from 4 hertz to 5 hertz without sacrificing any of the 66 hours of power reserve. That makes the Dynapulse escapement more precise and more efficient. Not bad. The mechanism could, in theory, work without lubrication as there is no friction. In reality, Rolex applies oil rather than grease in the realm of nanoliters. The application requires special tools and takes place before mounting the escapement in the movement. Oh, dude. Okay, so they're still using lubrication, even though it's silicone. What does Dynapulse mean for the Rolex future? I fully expect Dynapulse to become the standard for Rolex. Yeah, I think Rolex will slowly, over the next, 10, 20 years, will evolve all of their movements, their Daytona movement, their GMT movements, all their movements into this new Dynapulse escapement. Okay, I I see no reason why the brand wouldn't integrate this mechanism into all future movements, like Omega does with the coaxial escapement. Exactly. 1861 Speedmaster used to have a regular escapement, and then 3861 they upgraded the movement with the coaxial. Whether that means all future Rolex calibers will be of high beat variety remains to be seen. Yeah, they might not increase the beat rate, but they might do it for the efficiency purposes. Alternatively, the efficiency could be used to increase the power reserve. Yeah, it could go from 72 to 100 hours. If you ask me, Rolex is more likely to pursue accuracy than power reserve. Oh, yeah, they might go for 5 hertz. Everything could go 5 hertz. That's what uh, the uh, that's what Grand Seiko is doing. All their movements are 5 hertz. The cynical reader might also point to serviceability. New calibers with the Dynapulse may be harder to get serviced anywhere. Well, you know what? Anywhere, but that would literally that would be great for business because hey, you want to service Rolex? The only place to get those parts would be from Rolex. Then they basically they captured the market. Rolex already has most of the market, and this would like secure their foothold on the market even stronger. In this sense, the technology, like all in-house developments across the market, serve to lock people in. Yeah, but do people want to be locked in? I don't think so. People want to go where they want to go. Everybody, Rolex is going to say, hey, everybody's free to go wherever they want to go. The less cynical reader sees a new step in the pursuit of mechanical timekeeping perfection. Both perspectives are probably valid. In my opinion, it's fantastic to see that such relatively large leaps forward are still possible and brands still pursue them. It is easy to think the development of mechanical watches has ground to halt. Inventions such as Dynapulse prove the field is very much alive. There you go. Interesting stuff, I think. Open case back. I hope that they do it. To be honest, if I could be honest with you guys, I think this would be, locking people in seems like a great idea for business, but long term, I think it might turn a lot of people away because they might want to get, different brands and stuff, but I don't know, people are still able to go wherever they want to go, right? They can collect other watches. It's just the service, right? They won't be able to take this watch and have their local mom and pop service it for them, right? They will have to. So the people get locked up in the sense of servicing, which could also, um, if Rolex can lock people in on the service, they could also increase the price of service, or maybe they're going to be fair. It depends what kind of master Rolex is going to be. They've been pretty fair so far, right? Rolex, it costs relatively cheap to service a Rolex compared to a lot of other watch brands. So I don't know. I'm kind of digging Rolex so far, but maybe things will change. Who knows? Who knows? Um, yeah, guys, what do you think? What do you think? A Dynapulse, this new movement in a Rolex land dweller, cool or not cool? Phil T says ideally they want it to fail in 5 years' time so they can continue servicing. Phil, you're thinking business. This is what's it called? Um that's the concept of planned obsolescence. Yeah. Yeah. And first they create quality watch that can last almost indefinitely, and then they say here we're actually improving it so it can last even more. And then once you're locked in, they can start regulate when this type of watch could fail. They can reduce the longevity once they got you as a customer. Because the thing is, like, let's say you got this watch for your big promotion, right? You're not gonna want to sell it uh, when you find out, oh, Rolex actually made it so that every 5 years you must have service. It was in the past. These old Rolexes, they could last anywhere between 3 and 20 years, right? There's people who wore their Rolexes for 15 years, hitting baseballs every weekend, and it works fine for 15 years. Then they sell it and make a hefty profit on it. But maybe Rolex will be like, no, we don't want that anymore. We want our customers. That's how they make money, right? Every time you bring the watch in for service, it's easy money for for all these watchmakers. That's why some of them, I believe, ep1520, if you send your watch for service somewhere else and then you bring it to ep1520, he charges you double instead of if you just bring it to him directly, because they don't want any outsiders messing about with the movement, because they probably don't know what they're doing anyways. Does it tick? It does tick. Oh, and Rob F. Dude, that's a nice icon. I think this is in Museum of London, right? And it looks like that dude from Persia is wearing a watch, a solid gold dancer. Uh, Filthy says, why else do they have a 5-year warranty only? Um, yeah, maybe they'll change it in the future. Some brands have 8 years. Cartier has 8. Bunch of other brands have about 8 years and stuff. Um, yeah, it's interesting stuff. Interesting stuff, guys. Do, 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 do. Oh, I think that's it. I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Let's see. I brought up that one. We took a look at this, and oh, Rolex actually has an advertise. So here's another last thing before we end. Rolex has an ad for the Masters, which I thought was interesting because uh, the guy who was the guy who won the Masters this year, he was sponsored by Omega, right? And I thought, oh, isn't Rolex is no longer sponsoring Masters? But it turns out they still do. There's the green jacket. The green jacket. Boom. It looks like a Rolex jacket too, right? The green. Oh, there's all the Masters behind sitting. Oh, dude, that's so cool. Yeah, and there's a big Rolex clock there. McIlroy, thank you. Yeah, see, I'm not a big golf guy, but I yeah. Thank you so much, Jonathan. And 17 sandwiches. Are you going to eat those chocolates? Hey, roommate's about finished half of the chocolates. So that's pretty awesome. And Raz says, I bought the 1908 for horology reasons only, not for aesthetics. Come on, you're fucking with me. Come on, man. He's joking, guys. He's joking. And see, I'm frozen now. So yeah, it's my camera is overheating. It's telling me, Timmy, it's time to end the show. You did your 3 hours. Play the outro song and go get some rest. Hold on. Let's play this one. Time is running out. Okay, guys. Upvote if you haven't yet.
think I'm drowning, asphyxiated. I wanna break the spell that you've created. You're something beautiful, a contradiction. I wanna play the game, I want the friction. You will be the death of me. Yeah, you will be the death of me. Bury it, I won't let you bury it. I won't let you smother it. I won't let you murder it.
I tried to give you up, but I'm addicted. Now that you know I'm trapped, sense of elation. You'd never dream of breaking this fixation. You will squeeze